Good morning, everybody. Hope you all had a terrific weekend. Monday, back to work. The channel is amazing. I think we're up to something like 15,000 subscribers. I've never seen anything like this. 48 hours ago, I barely knew what YouTube was. So it's just something astounding. It's been great. Again, I want to thank Louis Rossman for this incredible opportunity and this incredible experience. Now for my subscribers, I have a favor to ask you. I want you to help me make this channel more relevant to answer your questions, because I could come up with topics, but I'm not certain what's of interest to you. I'm just making an assumption. So I'd like to hear your questions, your concerns, what you're curious about overall for commercial real estate in a very tangible way, in a way that really could help you and your businesses, help your bottom line, make the space more functional, help you negotiate better lease terms with your landlords. I know you're all over the world, and I know outside of New York City, commercial real estate is different. But it's an interesting market. It's a tough Darwinian, maybe the toughest commercial real estate market in the world. And I think hopefully my experience could be helpful, and I'll do my best to assist with any questions. And some of them, I will look through them, and they will certainly help come up with some relevant topics for videos for the YouTube channel. What I'd like to do is discuss WeWork. WeWork has been in the news, and co-working, I think for business owners, is terribly relevant, because it's changed the face of the commercial real estate market, and what's available for smaller businesses has changed. The inventory of small space, at least in New York City, has been very, very reduced by the whole co-working phenomena. WeWork, The Yard, Regis. Because what's happened, you look at it from a commercial landlord's point of view. They don't want to have a 100,000 square foot building with 200, 500 square foot tenants. They want large tenants. And let's say that building is 10 floors of 10,000 square feet. They'd have a couple of multi-floor tenants, very large corporations, a few full-floor tenants, and maybe one or two divided floors. The reason they want this is that administratively, it's very costly to run a building with hundreds of tenants. There's a higher level of risk, because smaller companies, some of them do okay, some of them don't, but many of them don't complete their lease terms. Larger tenants are a much safer bet. So what has happened is WeWork allows small tenants a very flexible lease term. They can go into a WeWork and rent a space for a month, 3 months, 6 months. And these smaller tenants, particularly the startups, have some uncertainty about the future. So they'll go into a small space, they'll pay double or triple what they would on a per square foot basis in a small space, and they're making a trade, and it's worth it for them. And what the effect on the landlord in commercial buildings without WeWorks, they combine these small spaces and they get the larger tenants in. So the global effect on the market space is you have fewer small spaces. So let's say you have a small accounting firm, and you need 1,000 feet, you need a couple of offices, and maybe a conference room, and a little bit of an open area. Thus, CPAs generally don't need open area. You call a broker, and there's going to be very little in a particular neighborhood to show you, where maybe if somebody like that called me now, I'd have 3 spaces to show them. 10 years ago, before co-working was so prevalent in New York City, maybe I would have 15 spaces. So it's going to be very interesting how the WeWork situation plays out. In the Wall Street Journal today, there was an article that discussed changes at WeWork, that now WeWork is no longer looking for space. They stopped their expansion or slowing it down. And the article also states that landlords had become reluctant to sign deals with WeWork. So maybe things will revert. It would be interesting to see what would happen if WeWork closed several facilities. It would put more space on the market, and maybe some of that space would be divided into smaller spaces, maybe not 500 or 1,000 square feet, but you might get a lot more units of 2,000 or 3,000, and maybe some small ones. Maybe there'd be a global impact on the market, and landlords, which is what they do in a soft market, would start to divide space, so there'd be more inventory available for smaller tenants, which would be really an upside for them, and more inventory at a lower price per square foot. Because don't think you're getting a deal at a co-working space. What you're getting is you're getting shorter term. You don't have to sign that commitment for 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, but you pay 2 or 3 times what you would in your demised space. Some industries love it. Startups, technology firms tend to gravitate to these co-working spaces. For certain types of industries, like law firms and CPA firms that need privacy, co-working is very, very difficult because you don't have private offices, and in the event that you do have private offices, I'm wrong, you do have private offices, they're not soundproofed and they're not insulated, and frequently, I know at WeWork, they're glass, so you cannot have privacy. But in any case, I hope this is helpful. I think we're going to see some real changes in New York City commercial real estate in the next year or two. It's going to be very interesting. And I thank you for listening to this video. And again, I'm looking forward to your comments and your questions. And by the way, in response to your comments, I did go to Adorama yesterday and I got a mic, and I hope the sound quality is better. Please confirm that. I'd appreciate that. Thanks so much and have a good day, and I'll be back tomorrow.